be painting pumpkins in the shape of a globe. Just
What's on a globe?
Well, continents.
Continents. Addison, how many continents are there?
7.
There's 7. Can you name them all?
North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Australia, Antarctica, Africa.
Very good. There are 7 continents. So if we look at our map, there are 7 continents on our globe. We're going to work on using this map to help us turn our pumpkins into globes. The first thing that we want to notice is where the equator is. The equator is an imaginary line that runs around the middle of the earth. So we want to find that imaginary line that kind of runs around the middle of our pumpkin. That's going to help us figure out what continents need to be above that imaginary line and which ones need to be below it. So I think I'm going to start with Africa, and I'm looking at the shape specifically of Africa. It's kind of like a lowercase backwards R. And I'm going to try to draw that shape half on top and half below my imaginary equator line. You guys ready?
We're starting with Africa.
Start with Africa.
Okay.
Here we go.
So very
It's like
interesting
in the-
shape.
In the middle.
And like half of it is on top, half of it is on the bottom. It's like a bigger Florida.
So mine's not exactly right, but I've got some detail in there. When I go in with my paint, I can add some more curves and edges to my Africa.
Yeah, I'm making mine bigger.
Yeah.
This is very small.
There's a little island off the coast of Africa called Madagascar that you could add if you wanted to. And then I'm going, for my Africa, I'm going to go above it to Europe.
Oh shoot,
Africa.
way too big. Kind of
And
made
then-
it look like an L.
Europe starts with Spain and France at the bottom.
God, we're going on to Europe.
There's islands. I'm just kind of making squiggly lines. I'm sure, I don't know if you want to come
What?
around over my shoulder.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna need to go. It's
Italy's a boot.
Yep.
Italy's way big compared to the size of Africa.
Is it just connected to Asia?
Yes, Europe is connected to Asia. They do share a border. Yep, I'm kind of moved on to Asia as well. Now Asia runs up close to the top
Wow.
of our globe. And there's a lot of tiny islands. I think that's Thailand, Vietnam. And then we'll do the little island of Japan.
I'm kind of starting with Asia over here. I'm just leaving.
I'm just gonna do some little dots in here for all of these islands in the South Pacific. And then to the continent of Australia. That's a very chubby Australia. Alright. And then the continent that we have on the bottom of our pumpkin is going to be Antarctica. I'm not going to paint my Antarctica because the paint that I have is blue and green, and there is no grass in Antarctica, so I'm just going to leave mine white, but I will go ahead and outline it and so I know where to not paint my blue water.
Get white paints.
Okay. So I've got Africa, Europe, Asia, Australia. I did not space this out very well.
Not even
Either.
happy entirety.
Oh my god, mine are like all together. This is terrible.
So from Australia,
North America.
we've got Japan. The next is, we're gonna start with North America and do Alaska off the coast over here. Maybe start your Alaska over
I
here.
haven't even started Australia.
Are we starting with North America?
Starting with North America, I'm starting with the curve of Alaska over here.
Okay.
And then all these tiny islands up here are part of Canada. This is my shape of North America.
Okay.
And then down to Mexico. And South America goes kind of down in a straight line, but then out at an angle like this.
It's
Then here we have the Gulf of Mexico and Florida.
Florida way too thin.
And then all of these are little islands up here. I'm just gonna fill in some shapes for some islands. And then after we have North America and South America, we have Greenland,
Oh no.
which is a country
So bad.
over here.
Mine, North
All right, I
America.
think I've got,
It's like a staff with a very skinny hole.
I've got all of my 7 continents now: North America, South America, Australia, Asia, Europe, Africa, and Antarctica. So now I'm ready to paint.
Oh shoot, I forgot South America.
So for our paints, we're using acrylic paint. We want to make sure that our paint says the word acrylic on it, because if we use any other kind of paint like tempera paint, when we put our pumpkins outside, tempera paint is washable. It will wash out of your clothes and it would wash off of our pumpkins. Acrylic paint is not washable. If you get it on your clothes, it will not wash off. So you might want to make sure that before you start painting, you change it to something that is okay to get paint on. All right, let's get started. So I'm going to start with my green paint. I've got my brush. I just put a little bit of it in a cup. Yours might be in a cup ready to go for you already. And I'm just going to start by painting in what I've got already. So I want to make sure my paint's really dry before I switch colors. Otherwise, when I go to do my blue, my colors are going to blend together. So I'm just going to use a hairdryer and dry my paint. Now I'm ready to do my blue paint. I've got a new clean brush, or I make sure that I wash out my brush that I've used really well. And I'm just going to go in around all the edges and paint everything else blue except Antarctica. Here we go.
So the final part of this project is to make flags to label our continents. I've already started most of them. I've got 6 done. I need to make one for South America. So I just get a white piece of paper and I cut a strip. And I fold it in half. It's a little lopsided. Can even it up. I'm going to write South. Oh. I have nothing going on to America. Okay. So, and then I take toothpicks. I open up a flag, put some glue on the inside. Put my toothpick in, and I fold the flap down, and I can make a flag. So I can stick this flag into my pumpkin after they all dry.
Hi, second graders. So we've wrapped up our final step of making our pumpkin globes. I've added my flags to my continents. You can see here the only one that I didn't add was Antarctica because it won't be able to sit down. But I wanted to talk to you for a second about the color of your pumpkins. So if you notice, I chose a white pumpkin, and this is how it turned out. Connor and Addison chose orange pumpkins, and if you know anything about the color wheel, when you mix a complementary color and a secondary color that are opposite across from each other on the color wheel, it will make brown. So think about the color of your pumpkin, and I can't wait to see how they turn out.